Well, hello everybody. If you're ready for a little fun, I decided to start a new career in Kerbal Space program. So right away, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit like and subscribe to the channel. I'd love to hear from you in the comment section. I'd like to hear about games you'd like me to learn to play, games you'd like to see me play, suggestions on how to play the games I'm playing. Even if you have video ideas, challenges, whatever, I'd like to hear from you. Please put something in the comment section. So we're playing Kerbal Space program. We're doing it from scratch. I'm just going to do little sessions of these and let you guys watch my progress. When some of these missions become really repetitive, like the constant rescuing of astronauts and so forth, I may not put each one of those into a video. But yeah, I'll definitely let you watch my gameplay, the successes and the failures. So what we have to do is we need to launch our first vessel. These are missions that we can take. Gather science data from Kerbin is pretty easy, so we'll take both of those missions. Those are the only two missions we can take. Launch our first rocket. We're going to need a few things. We're going to need, well, that. We're going to need an engine. We're going to need a parachute. And we're going to need to separate these out because if we don't, it'll just spell disaster. So we're going to go ahead and launch this thing. The very first thing that we're going to do is try to do some research on the launch pad so we can gather science data from Kerbin. And so we're going to right click here. And there should be a crew report. There we go, crew report. And boom, we've saved it. Turn on our SAS. And this is a solid fuel, so we're just going to go ahead and launch. And we've completed, well, we've completed the missions that we've accepted. And it's going to take a minute to finally slow down. I really didn't need to put that much fuel in the rocket. I kind of forgot about it. Could have saved a little money and a little time. Can't do too much until it slows down a little bit. We could put out the parachute now. It's probably going slow. Well, in fact, it's demonstrating that it's enough to do it. It's just not gonna open well. It'll give us a little more drag. And I'm going to go ahead and turn off the stability assist because we really don't need it, especially with a parachute. And I'm just going to go ahead and fast forward this a little bit because there's no reason to wait for this. Parachute should open at about 100 meters if I'm not mistaken. Close. And we'll gradually float down into the water and we will recover the craft. And with the craft recovery, we will get some money back from the parts that we recovered. And we'll get the science that we earned in that mission. We can go in here and see if we can spend any of it. Well, we certainly can. We have 19 and this cost us 5. Yeah, it'd be nice to be able to get that, but what's nice about some of these is it has more science that we can do, which helps itself. Now this has more science in it, so that's helpful. We're just short of being able to get this. This gives us different rockets. Let's see what the missions are and see what we're going to do next. Have a few more options. Testing a rocket at the launch site is pretty easy peasy stuff. When it's testing things in flight over Kerbin, this can get dicey because it puts in these really weird parameters. So you need to be sure of what you're accepting. This right here, it can be a fun. We don't have the rockets to do that right now, but we do have the ability to test a decoupler. So we have 2 missions that we don't have to do we don't have to launch for. And we can do a couple of other things. So we don't need this, and we don't need this, right? And we'll look back down here, and it's test the RT-10 hammer, which is this one. And we're going to take all the fuel out of it, because we're just testing the rocket, we're not launching it. And then the other is test the TD-12 decoupler, which will be under here, which is the TD-12 decoupler. We're going to put it there. It's not going to launch off, it's going to stay to the craft. We're going to be able to recover every last dime that we spent on this this spacecraft, but we're going to get all the science and all the money for doing these tests. So while we're at it, let's go ahead into the science because... Sorry, that's not science, this is science. And we have two easy science experiments we can do now. We have the mystery goo and we have the thermometer. So we're going to go ahead and launch this. We're going to launch this, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and log the temperature. And we're going to take this and we're going to observe the mystery goo. And we're going to log that too. And then we're going to hit the space bar, which is going to do nothing with this. And then we're going to hit the space bar, which is going to do nothing with this. And then we're going to recover the craft, and we're going to have science, and we're going to have money from that. So we've gained, we're up to 21 science, which is more science than we had after the last mission. I mean, granted, that's a lot of leftover from the last mission. But we have more, total now than we had before. And we recovered the parts, and we recovered the crew. So we can sneak back into the science complex, and we can buy this now. Again, it's one more piece of science we can do. And we've got more parachutes to play with, so, and a service bay, and even a radiator for heat. Even a landing strut. Not a good one, but we're getting there. We also have enough for basic rocketry. We're on our way. All right, let's see what the next mission is that we can do. I usually try to avoid these. Again, tested a decoupler, landed at Kerbin. Yeah, that ought to be pretty easy to do. We don't get much science for it, but we get some money in advance and so forth. So, yeah, we're going to do it. Again, haul a parachute into flight. Here's the dicey part, is making sure you can get to those speeds. And yeah, we're not really ready to do that yet. What about... You know what? We're just going to do this one. Because it's a pretty simple one, and we don't even need that. That's the same one. Yep. So pretty much the same. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? We'll get it the next time. I should have just added the barometer. We can do the mystery goo again. The thermometer, we're done with the science that it can do. It's only a one-shot deal. The mystery goo can give us a tiny bit more. I'm going to go ahead and done again. We completed the mission. Then recover the vessel. Again, 100% recovery of the cost of what we just did. Plus we made the money from the mission. So this is starting to grow. In an early game, money is really the name of the game. It seems like advancing in science and doing these missions and so forth. I mean, getting to the moon and doing that as quick as possible. Don't. Do not do that. it's just painful. If you take this slow and you take opportunities to make money and build science and get nice things, so you can do those missions better, that's a whole different story. Yeah, this again, these get a little, that's kind of high, and yeah, it's just hard to know. We're gonna do this at some point in time. In fact, we may just go ahead and do this. We're not gonna orbit yet. Again, I'd love to be able to do this. I think it's too early for us. I don't think we have the technology for this, but that's kind of fun, just to like launch crap into orbit, or outside of the orbit of of Kerbal. So yeah, let's just try to escape the atmosphere. We ought to be able to do that with what we've got, I hope. So the trick with some of this is obviously we don't want to burn up. Oh, I'd really like to have that on the craft, but it's too early. I just want to be able to get this out into orbit. Not in orbit, just out of the atmosphere. This is going to be an interesting challenge because we really, really, really don't have the parts to do this. So that should be good. So what we're going to basically do is we're going to build something that I hope is powerful enough to do the job. And if it isn't, it isn't. We just wasted some money. But and let's try this with, let's see, where's this? I think that's it. Okay. Do I have anything? Nope. Alright, so what we want to have happen is we want these three and this one all to fire at once, and then this one fire, and then hopefully we can get into space and then back down. Hopefully that's going to be enough. Yeah, let's try it. Oh, unable to launch. Can't support heavier than 18. Sigh. Okay, we're gonna do this with 2. And hope it works. Okay, give it a shot. I often forget to give my spacecraft like auspicious names, so untitled spacecraft is probably what most of these are going to be. Let's hope this works. I'm hoping that these initial 3 solid rocket boosters get the thing high and fast enough that the second one can pop it in. Actually, I think it's going to be able to do it. It's we're going ridiculously fast right now, and I think all we have to do is get to a little over 1,000 meters per second to really pull this off. We're a little lower for the 1,000 meters per second than I would have normally hoped for, but I'm going to do just a little bit of an arc because I know we've got it, and the arc will make coming down a lot easier on the parachute. Ooh. What blew up? Oh, our thermometer blew up. So we're not going to be able to get... Yeah, we got 10 science. 10 science from our barometer, so... I'm sad for the thermometer, but we'll have many, many, many more chances. We just made it into space. How far are we going to go? A lot farther than I thought. In fact, wow, that's a lot farther. I hope Jeb makes this. speed this up. All right. My hope is I'm going to separate from that in the hopes that that gives me a little more upward speed, but I doubt seriously that that's going to be all that helpful. I've got the heat shield on. My only concern is, will I be able to slow down fast enough? There went the last engine, that explosion you just heard. I think we're going to be able to slow down fast enough. Yes, we will. We can put out the parachute almost any time. I'm going to let the speed get down a little bit, and I'm going to get our altitude down a little bit. There's no reason to slow us down too much right now, and I'm going to go ahead and speed this up because this takes a while for it to hit the ground or hit the water. I forgot to get a crew report from him when it was in real high orbit. Go ahead and do that now. Crew report. May as well get the science. And we'll recover the vessel. And I think I'm still at high speed, so I need to slow that down. All right, let's go ahead and look at some of this stuff. I like this. Right, we're getting into the Ferry 3 Taurus. We don't really have the oomph to do that yet. We need to go and get the science to pull that off. You know, again, it's got speeds that you have to be going, so you need to be really ready to do some of these things in order to actually accept those missions. So let's go ahead and see what we can spend with our science, because I do think if we can get, I can find it. I'm not sure where. One of these, it seems to me, allows for passengers. I just I'm not sure where it is anymore. It's been a while since I played this. This one. So that's 45. That's a long way away before we can really do passengers easily. I mean, yeah, we can put them in the other craft and stuff like that. That's a little tough. But we will work towards it. So that's also 45. Again, that's a lot of science we can get. Oh, I'd rather wait, I think, and get that, and let's do some easy to get. So there's easy to get science in this game. For example, we have yet to do just the barometer at the launch pad. So we're going to go ahead and get that real quick. It won't be much. It'll be a fairly trivial amount, but you know, 3.6, every little bit helps when you're trying to get to 45, right? It didn't cost us a cent to do that. And we haven't even done really much either when it comes to the hangar. So we can get out on the runway and do the same bits of silliness. We're not flying this anywhere. We're just... Whoops. Do that, and then that'll work. And we're going to go ahead and just throw that out on the runway for a moment and do all those science experiments and the crew report. So we have mystery goo. That's 3. We have the temperature. That's 2.4. We have the barometer. That's 3.6. We have the crew report. That's 1.5. And if I wanted to, I can EVA him and get an EVA report, which is 2.4. So we're going to go ahead and reboard the ship. We're going to recover it. So we're doing, again, on the whole science. Now we can get the Science Junior thing. Now we may want to do more of the rockets. Let's see what we got there. That's a little bit better of an engine. It would be nice to have something that's, beyond that and that. But this helps us get more science. So I'm going to grab this. And we're going to go ahead and do that same little silliness that we just did, except with our new science toy. So we're going to have that experiment. 7.5, not a bad deal. Recover vessel. We're going to do the same thing in the hangar. We can do the mystery goo again there too, because the runway, we only did the mystery goo in it once. So go ahead and get that somehow there we go. And we'll take that. We'll put the Science Junior on. Put the mystery goo on it. And we'll go ahead and launch that. Go ahead and do the material study. Another 7.5. So the mystery goo, this won't be much, but again, it's better than nothing, and it's free. All right. Well, we've made some cash. We've done a lot of missions. We've got a lot of other choices that we can start doing here, and we only have 26, so we could get into general rocketry or stability. We'll have to mess around with the ideas of what we want to do next. But I think for this particular video, we're going to leave it right here. If you enjoyed it, please comment, please like, please subscribe. Tell your friends, go ahead and share it. Thanks for joining us, and I'll see you the next time. Bye.